We've been talking about the 7 traits of highly narcissistic people. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because we want to have an understanding of narcissistic people, which arms us and empowers us so we can make good choices about how we want to interact with them. Hello, I'm Dr. David Hawkins, Director of the Marriage Recovery Center and the Emotional Abuse Institute, where we specialize in all things pertaining to narcissism, narcissistic abuse, and emotional abuse. All right, the 7 traits of highly narcissistic people. This is trait number 7. What's a quick recap here? Previous 6 traits that we talked about. Number 1, they are always right. Always right. And of course, what does that make you? Always wrong. Number 2, they have an attitude of superiority. I've said that every narcissistic person that I've worked with, I uncover underneath. Maybe it's overt, maybe it's covert. Maybe you see it, maybe you just feel it. This attitude of superiority. Number 3, they act like they shouldn't be challenged. You have no right to challenge them. And so they become impermeable, Teflon. Number 4, they act like they have the right to be hurtful. Isn't that just incredible? It's incredible that anyone would give themselves that kind of license. But I find that narcissistic people give themselves that license. I'm often asked the question, how is this possible that they can be so mean-spirited? They give themselves that license. Their bar is very low on how people should be treated, at least with intimate partners or in close work settings or in close relationships. They give themselves that kind of license. Number 5, they act dismissive because your opinions don't matter. They really do, but a highly narcissistic person thinks they don't. And number 6, they act like they don't need to hear what they don't want to hear. All right, and that brings us to the 7th trait of the highly narcissistic person. And these all overlap, by the way, they all overlap. They act like they are unique, special, talented, smart, arrogant. They act like they are unique, special, talented, smart. And that, by the way, that attitude gives them the right to act in very egregious ways. I mean, come on, if you're that smart, that talented, that unique, that special, then you get to act in ways that other people don't act. You don't have to be highly socialized. Ooh, there's an insight for us, right? Because growing up means socialization. That's what growing up is, right? We learn how to act. You don't get to be just mean. You don't get to be dismissive. You don't get to just parade around. You don't get to do that stuff when you are socialized. But if you're under socialized, then you do get to act any way you want to act, or at least behind closed doors in close work settings where maybe your bad behavior isn't seen, their bad behavior isn't seen, or in a marriage relationship, bad behavior isn't seen. Highly narcissistic people wield incredible power because they're so special, so unique, so talented, so smart. What to do, what to do, what to do. Number 1, recognize that they're not all of that. They're not all of that. Because what can happen here, everyone, is we can all get mesmerized a bit. Like, oh, maybe they are all of that. They're incredibly smart. I mean, they've got this advanced degree. They've got a lot of letters after their name. They got a big job. They got a big, like, oh my goodness, maybe they. No, they're not all that. And you need to recognize that. Don't get mesmerized. Don't get caught up in treating them exactly the way they want to be treated. No. So don't get mesmerized. Come out of that trance and be very aware of what's going on. And that will lead to number 2. And that is interact honestly with them. What does that mean? Interact honestly. That means you're not going to approach them as if they are unique, special, talented, smart. You're not going to do it. You're going to treat them as if they are your colleague, friend, partner, mate. You're going to show up in your core self, and you're going to expect them, whether they do or don't, you're going to expect them to interact with you in a respectful way. And that leads to number 3. Make it clear what that kind of way means. You establish some ground rules as well as to how you expect to be treated. So, don't get mesmerized. Come out of your trance. Interact with them in an honest way. State how you expect to be treated, and then follow through. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know what you think. Give me your comments. And if we can be helpful to you at the Marriage Recovery Center and the Emotion and Beliefs Institute, if we can be helpful to you in finding treatment or next steps in gaining clarity, we are happy to do that. All right. As always, take care and God bless.